Well, good evening, folks. It's the real Captain Kirk here. It's the 12th of September, 2021, Sunday evening. Again, hard to believe here, but less than 10 days until the official start of fall. Hopefully I didn't just depress any of you out there. You want to wait until the end here. We have some pretty cool rooftop time-lapse video here of storms that move through here. So it's a pretty fascinating view here in downtown Bethlehem. Last week's summer here on the world scale here, mean temps versus last year. Again, this is, again, versus a year ago. So across the world here, 3.5 warmer than last year in the U.S., 7th warmest in 36 years, so above average U.S. temperatures. 55% drier. We certainly needed it after all the tropical activity. Driest in 16 years, third driest in 36 years, so much below average U.S. precip. Canada, again, almost wall-to-wall warm with 5.2 degrees warmest in 10 years, a little bit wetter. Europe a little bit cooler. Russia, the cool spot, coolest in 17 years. China, kind of a hot spot, warmest in 22 years. A little bit cool down under as they're getting ready for their spring. And Brazil, coolest in 3 years. Map since that left are the trends versus average. Tropics obviously are very active here. We already got our 14th named storm here. We've got Nicholas forming in the southwest Gulf of Mexico. It's probably going to just say a tropical storm, and I say just because that's misleading. The flooding could certainly be very impactful, even though it's just a tropical storm, and it's going to move very slowly along the Texas coast. So something to watch. Next week, I think we need to watch Florida, the southeast, and maybe even up the east coast. A couple systems worth watching. Obviously, you see all these threats at the hurricane centers and even more beyond this 5-day period here. So next week could get very, very active again. Florida, East Coast needs to watch for that. So 'tis the season, peak of the season here, and we're already well above average for sure. Hard to believe here, 12 through 18 September here, but 5.6 warmer than last year, making the #1 hottest mid-September period in at least 36 years, much above average, almost coast to coast, maybe the Pacific Northwest, the lone cool spot. 20% drier than last year, 18th driest in 36 years. Don't tell that to folks, again, from Texas into the Tennessee area where those easily 5 inches of rain with this tropical threat. Certainly areas could have much, much more than that in isolated spots. So again, something to watch that for those folks down there. This is also pretty much the peak of the ragweed fall allergy season, and it's going to be pretty epic. A hot dry usually brings the worst conditions because it suspends the pollens, the allergens, and the things that makes us cough and sneeze and wheeze if you have either allergy or asthma suffering. So this is not a great period. In fact, it's one of the worst. 3.8 warmer than last year, warmest in 4 years, 4th warmest in 36 years, so much above average temperatures, and to continue those dry trends, 16% drier than last year, driest in 17 years. So warm, dry, again, those are the threats that really create the suffering for the folks with allergy and asthma. So this will be the week to make sure you're staying on top of the medication. Hard to believe here, but again, in 9 days, 22 hours, fall is officially here. So enjoy these last few days of summer. If we look at the world trends here now, this is just aggregating the next 2 weeks. The cold spots remains pretty much Russia. Again, they were cold from southwest to central Siberia. And another cool spot's probably Alaska, western Canada, and the Pacific Northwest. Rest of the world pretty much on the warmer trends here. We'll end with a pretty cool time-lapse video here on top of 4 rooftop weather cameras. Again, pretty fascinating up here. The second tallest building here in the Lehigh Valley. So we can pretty much see the world here. We've seen thunderstorms as far away as over almost 170 miles away. So again, pretty epic the views up here. So we'll end with that, folks. Hope you have a great week, and we will be back here this time next week.